Hello and welcome to the Long Island Podfather. I'm your host, Gerry Ferretti. We were going to have our first episode yesterday with a guest, but things went long and we weren't able to get that going. But there's a very good chance that we'll be having a guest on this Wednesday. So make sure to stay tuned. We have some interesting topics coming up. Today, I'm going to talk about success and what it is that makes success, how we view success. And also, have we forgotten how to like? To just touch upon it on the social media and on YouTube, we have a little thing called the like button. And we like things. And I think very often, as much as we start doing things repetitively, they start to lose meaning. It's like that little thing where you would repeat a word over and over and over, and then it becomes sort of gibberish. So we start hitting this like button, and it almost seems like we like everything. And in reality, what starts to happen is we don't really like anything. And creative things that we all, especially us in this business, as we try to do, it's like we look at our peers and we look at the people we work with, and you're almost looking for some kind of justification. And you create something, you put a film up, and like when I made my film and everybody said, well, when is it going to be in the movies? We don't necessarily make these things to have them reach a level of success that is the expectation of us. So how do we define success? And I think before you go into any endeavor, I think you have to set goals, incremental goals. Like, what do you want to reach for the top of the mountain? Other people's views of your success become important, but no one likes to admit that they care what other people think. And I kind of do. I care what other people think. I don't center my life or my creative endeavor or any aspect or hang my hat on what anybody thinks. But I do care what people think. Obviously, you're making some kind of artistic endeavor that there's two sides to it. There's the creative part, what you're going to do for your own pleasure and enjoyment and creativity. And then there's the audience reaction, which does, in a lot of ways, allow you to continue to expand as you make money and can afford to grow. And I always say you could make a movie or write a story or create anything, and someone's going to like it and someone's not going to like it. And how you thicken your skin and develop the ability to shun the negativity while also absorbing any positive aspect in that negativity. Constructive criticism is valuable. In this business, there is a tremendous tendency to judge others and knock them down, thereby raising yourself up in a sick, convoluted, twisted way. I see it very often. I see people doing it to other people. And I always look at some people's creative endeavors, and in my head I'm thinking, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. By the same token, there's an audience for ridiculous things. So it's very hard to judge anybody's work. And I think we've fallen into that a little bit as a people, that we've all become critics. Years ago, when I was a kid, I remember a movie would come out, Raiders of the Lost Ark, or Star Wars, or any movie, and you rushed to the newspaper and you read, and it was, if it got 2 stars, you were like, they're not saying it's good. And, if it got 4 stars, you were like, oh, this is going to be great. And it does have a tendency to program your mind in advance, but we relied on those handful of critics. And I think that enabled the masses to like things in a different way than they like things now, because everybody has a YouTube channel. Everybody has that you can go on YouTube and see hundreds of reviews and critiques of every single film that comes out. And I've even fallen into this trap where you don't watch the movie, you watch the reviews, and there's so many clips, who's got a 5-minute, 10-minute, 20-minute review, where you feel like you've watched the movie because you've seen so many clips of the movie, that we've created this like sub industry to the movie industry, where we're watching just criticisms of the movies where it leaves you. And I've looked back and people have said to me, "Did you ever see this movie?" And I'm like, I think so. I think I saw it. But then I realized I never did. I never actually went to the movie theater or turned it on. But I've seen so much of it in another person's critique of it that I feel like I've seen it. And to create your own vision or judgment of it's like picking up a book and reading chapter 15, then chapter 11, then chapter 21, then chapter 2, and saying you read the book. You could probably get an idea of the writing style. You can get an idea, but you're not going to get a coherent story. And what is filmmaking? What is it? It's all about story. So we're destroying our own vision, and it's so totally twisted up the industry, and then it zeroes back to success. How do you find success as a storyteller if the industry is so hard to pin down nowadays? It's constantly changing. You went to the movies in 1940. I would think, I mean, I wasn't around, but I would think you went to the movies and there wasn't all of this analysis. What do they say? Paralysis by analysis. We're not even paralyzing. We're just confusing. It's like confusion by analysis. Very often success is defined, unfortunately, by your bank account. I mean, once you are a filmmaker and you're driving a Ferrari, people say he made it. I don't look at things that way. I look at, you could make 10 independent films and they're terrific, really well made, thought out, get a level of success that, basically goes nowhere, but it's an artistic endeavor. And then you make a piece of garbage that makes money, and now people will say you're a success. Being a failure in a negative world makes you a success. It's not a cop out, but I think what it does is it inspires you to create something above that level, to try and kick it up a notch where you say, okay, I don't like the way this is going. So again, stick to what you want to do and build it into something better. And we've opened up the doors in this industry where there's so many opportunities. There's hundreds of channels. And it seems like so many people find success in those lower levels, but through social media and the expectation, there's this this constant desire to post a greater level. Like, supposing you make a film and you don't go on social media and you make $2 million at the box office and no one knows it. So you pocket that money and you live a good life. A lot of people would go, hey, what happened to that guy? Because your name is in the credits, but you haven't shared it with your friends. You haven't put it out there. It seems like we're creating a mentality where people are going, well, no one knows about this, so is it successful? We're not enjoying the success on our own unless we blast it across social media and go, see, look what I did. And I think that that's a sad commentary on how we've evolved. Social media has caused this, and the like button has caused it, and you just routinely hit that like button, and very often you're looking at something that somebody did and you're like, well, I don't really like it, but I like it because I don't want them to think I don't like it. We're just confusing the whole aspect of how to interact. How do you feel about it? Would you rather have a real world where we're flawed and we interact with each other's flaws, and we're not all picture perfect, and we're not all beautiful, and we're not all successful by the definition of what success is supposed to be in the eyes of others, but success in what makes you as an individual happy? And I said, in a lot of ways, I'm the happiest I've been in my life. As a podfather, as a father, I've got, two wonderful daughters, and they're both doing well. They're finding their way in life, but they're good, upstanding, intelligent, hardworking, young ladies. So I feel that's an aspect of life that, you know, came to fruition the way I've always dreamed that it would. Got my health, doing the things that I enjoy doing. What more is there? If somebody plopped $50 million in my lap tomorrow from one of my endeavors, it would change very little. I think for many of us, it's about the art, it's about the work, it's about the creativity, it's about the fun. We're working on this new film, The Fontanas, and I as much look forward to the fun of the work as I do the work. Uh, it's enjoyable, and if you can do work that you enjoy, you'll never really, as they say, work a day in your life. So, can we go back? Can we go backwards? Can we go back to a world where we interact differently and we interact one on one? We're not so judgmental and critical of each other. And have we always been that way? And is social media and technology just magnifying something that's always existed? Is this who we are? Is this what we've always been? But now we're just seeing it under a magnifying glass. Find out what you really want. Many people say, I want to be an actor, I want to be a screenwriter, I want to be uh, a producer, I want to be, but they don't put in the effort, they don't put in the work. I worked with an actor on one of my films who wants to be an actor and came to one of the sets, and we filmed a scene, and it was very hot, and we put in about 4 hours. And the shoot probably should have taken twice as long, but he just said, I'm done. I don't want to do it. I'm done. And that's his right, but he didn't come in prepared to do the work. And it created a problem. We had a particular day that we were shooting, particular props that we weren't able to get back. And the day was cut short. And in the edit, I wasn't exactly pleased with what the end result was. So how badly did that person want it? I personally sometimes overdo it. I work long days. I forget to eat because I enjoy it so much. So it changes the way, if you're sitting around doing nothing, I'll get hungry. But when I'm busy, I don't. And I tell people in the crew that work with me, make sure you remind me to break and feed everybody, because I'm the same way with music rehearsals and stuff. I'll just keep going. But that's me, and that's just because I enjoy it. So you have to define what it is you want and how much work you're willing to put into it. Because I say everybody can make it to any level they want if they put in the work. I've read books, biographies on actors who wanted to be actors so bad. Charles Grodin was one. He left his home, he left his family, he went into Manhattan. He was 20 years old, living in a rat-infested closet of an apartment. And, he pursued this. I've never done that. I've never sacrificed to that great a degree. So do I want it? Do I desire it as much as he does? Sure. But do I want it? And did I want it at that age? Would I give up everything that I have right now on a chance to make it? No. So you try and juggle what you have, what you've worked for, and still aspire to gain in this other venture. And that does make it more difficult. So find what works for you. Find your little corner of the galaxy where you can do what you want to do and achieve the level of success that you want. And then you will be successful. It's that simple. Eliminate the mindset, the people in your lives who are telling you what your success should be. Because only you can decide that. And when you decide it, and when you figure out what you want, you're there. And other people will look and say, yeah, but you won't let that yeah, but creep into your head anymore, because it's like your little secret. Coming this Wednesday, I will be sitting down with Sean McGilvery, my first guest, and we'll be talking about relationships and communication. You don't want to miss this episode. It's going to be an extended episode, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So check back with us. Watch for the Long Island Podfather on Spotify, on YouTube, and thanks for checking in. Talk to you soon.